Good morning. Old Joe here. I'm sitting on my porch with my coffee, like I do most mornings. Got my cigar. Got the sunrise coming up over the hills. And I've been thinking about something that's been heavy on my heart. If I could go back and talk to my younger self, the anxious, worn up kid who thought the world was ending every other Tuesday, there's one thing I'd tell him. Just one thing. Stop worrying so much. Now, I know that sounds simple, maybe too simple, but stick with me here because what I'm about to share with you changed everything for me. And if you're sitting there right now, chest tight, mind racing about tomorrow or next week or next year, this one's for you. I spent decades of my life chewing on problems that never happened, losing sleep over disasters that never came. And I'm going to tell you why that was the biggest waste of time I ever committed to. But more than that, I'm going to tell you how to stop. Let me paint you a picture. I was 26 years old, had a wife, had a baby on the way, had a job at the factory that paid decent but felt like it was crushing my soul a little more every day. And every single night, I'd lie there in bed staring at the ceiling, running through every possible way things could go wrong. What if I lose my job? What if the baby comes early and we can't afford the hospital bill? What if my truck breaks down? What if? I was building prisons in my mind, and then I'd walk into them and lock the door behind me. Here's what nobody tells you about worry. It's a liar. Worry tells you it's keeping you safe. It tells you that if you just think about the problem long enough, hard enough, you'll somehow prevent it from happening. But that's not how life works. Worry doesn't prevent bad things. It just robs you of the good things happening right now. I remember one night, this was probably 30 years ago. I was so wound up about money that I missed my daughter's first words. She was sitting right there on the living room floor, and my wife called my name and said, "Joe, listen." But I was too busy running numbers in my head, too busy catastrophizing about bills that weren't even due yet. I missed it. You don't get that moment back. And here's the thing that took me way too long to understand. Most of what I worried about never happened. I mean, I'd guess maybe 5% of the things I spent hours agonizing over actually came to pass. The rest, ghosts, shadows, stories I told myself. There's an old saying, I think it was Mark Twain who said it. I've had a lot of worries in my life, most of which never happened. That's the truth right there. Now you might be thinking, okay, Joe, but I can't just stop worrying. It's not that simple. And you're right, it's not. Because worry serves a purpose. At least it thinks it does. See, our brains are wired to look for danger. That's how we survived back when we were running from saber-toothed tigers and trying not to get eaten. Your brain's job is to scan for threats and keep you alive. The problem is, we're not running from tigers anymore, but our brains haven't gotten the memo. So now, instead of worrying about actual life or death situations, we worry about emails, about social media, about what someone said to us 3 weeks ago, about whether we're good enough, smart enough, successful enough. We've taken a survival mechanism and turned it into a full-time job. I had a buddy, old ranch hand named Tom, who used to say, "Joe, you're borrowing trouble from tomorrow and paying interest on it today." And man, was he right. Every minute you spend worrying about something that hasn't happened yet is a minute you're not living your actual life. It's like watching a movie about your life instead of being in it. Now, I'm not saying you shouldn't plan. I'm not saying you shouldn't prepare. There's a difference between being responsible and being consumed. Being responsible is, I need to save money in case something goes wrong. Being consumed is, I can't enjoy this dinner with my family because I'm too busy thinking about every possible financial disaster that might happen 5 years from now. You see the difference? One is action, the other is torture. Let me tell you what worry cost me. It cost me my health. I had an ulcer by the time I was 32. Couldn't sleep, couldn't eat right, was snapping at people I loved because I was so twisted up inside. It cost me my relationships. My wife used to tell me I was somewhere else, even when I was sitting right next to her. And she was right. I was always 3 steps ahead, playing out worst case scenarios in my mind. It cost me joy, simple joy, the kind you get from watching a sunset or playing catch with your kid or just sitting on the porch with a good cup of coffee. I was so busy preparing for storms that might never come that I forgot to notice when the sun was shining. And here's the hardest part. I can't get those years back. I can't go back to my 26-year-old self and shake him by the shoulders and say, kid, it's all going to be okay. Most of this stuff you're losing sleep over. It doesn't matter. It won't even be a memory 10 years from now. But what I can do is tell you right now, today, before you waste another decade of your life trapped in your own head. So how do you stop? That's the question, is not. Yes. How do you turn off that voice in your head that's constantly running through disaster scenarios? Well, I'll tell you what worked for me. And I'm not saying it's easy, but it's simple. First thing, you have to understand that worry is a choice. Now, before you throw your phone across the room, hear me out. I know it doesn't feel like a choice. It feels automatic. It feels like something that happens to you. But here's the truth. Between the thought and the worry, there's a split second. A tiny moment where you can decide what to do with that thought. Most of us don't even notice that moment. We go straight from, what if this bad thing happens, to spiraling down into full-blown panic. But if you can catch yourself in that moment, and it takes practice, you can ask yourself a different question. Not, what if this happens? But what if it doesn't? What if the worst case scenario you're imagining never comes to pass? What if things actually work out? What if you're worrying for nothing? I started doing this about 10 years ago. Every time I caught myself starting to spiral, I'd stop and ask, is this happening right now? In this moment, is this actually happening? And 99% of the time, the answer was no. Right now, in this moment, I was okay. The thing I was worried about was in the future. It wasn't real yet. And it might never be real. So why was I letting it steal my peace today? Let me give you some practical things you can do. Things that helped me. Number 1, control what you can control. Make a list. Seriously, get a piece of paper. On one side, write down everything you're worried about. On the other side, write down what you can actually do about it. Most of the time, you'll find that there's only 1 or 2 things on that list that you have any control over. Everything else is out of your hands. So focus on what you can do. Take action on those 1 or 2 things and let the rest go. Number 2, stay in today. Jesus said, Don't worry about tomorrow. Tomorrow will worry about itself. Each day has enough trouble of its own. That's not just religious talk, that's practical wisdom. Most of our worries about tomorrow, or next week, or next year. We're not living in today. We're living in some imaginary future that doesn't exist yet. So bring yourself back. Ask yourself, what can I do right now, today, to make things a little better? Not tomorrow, not next week, right now. And then do that thing. Number 3, talk to someone. I spent years keeping all my worries bottled up inside. Thought it made me strong. Thought it made me a man. Turns out it just made me miserable. When I finally started talking to my wife about what was going on in my head, something amazing happened. Half the time, just saying the worry out loud made me realize how ridiculous it was. The other half of the time, she'd help me see solutions I couldn't see on my own. You don't have to carry everything by yourself. You weren't meant to. Number 4, move your body. I know, you've heard this before, but it works. When I'm all twisted up in my head, I go for a walk, or I chop wood, or I do something with my hands. Something about moving your body breaks the worry cycle, gets you out of your head and back into your body. And when you come back, things usually look different, clearer. Number 5, remember the 90-day rule. Ask yourself, will this matter 90 days from now? Most of the time, the answer is no. The thing that feels like life or death today will be completely forgotten 3 months from now. So why give it so much power today? I'm 73 years old now, and I can tell you with absolute certainty, I wasted a lot of years worrying about things that didn't matter. But I can also tell you this, it's never too late to change. I'm calmer now than I've ever been, not because my life got easier, not because I have fewer problems, but because I learned how to be present, how to be here, now, instead of living in some imaginary future catastrophe. You know what's funny? Most of the things I worried about when I was young, they either never happened or they happened and we figured it out. That job I thought I'd lose, I kept it for 15 years and then I got a better one. That baby, I was worried we couldn't afford. She turned out just fine. Grown woman now with kids of her own. That truck I thought would break down ran for another decade. Life has a way of working itself out. Not always the way you expect. Not always easy, but it works out. And even when hard things do happen, and they will because that's life, you handle them. You adapt. You survive. You're stronger than you think you are. I look back now on my younger self and I just want to wrap my arm around him and say, kid, it's okay. You're going to be okay. Stop trying to control everything. Stop trying to predict every possible outcome. Just live, be here, be present with the people you love. That's what matters. Here's something I've come to understand. Worry isn't really about the future. It's about control. We worry because we want to control outcomes. We want to make sure nothing bad happens. We want to eliminate all risk, all uncertainty, all danger. But life doesn't work that way. You can't control everything. You can't prevent every bad thing from happening. And trying to do so would drive you insane. The real enemy isn't the thing you're worried about. The real enemy is the belief that you can control everything if you just worry hard enough. That's a lie. And it's a lie that will rob you of your life. I spent so many years trying to control things that were completely outside my control, trying to make sure nothing went wrong, trying to protect myself and my family from every possible harm. And you know what happened? Life happened anyway. Bad things happened, good things happened, unexpected things happened. And we dealt with them. We adapted, we survived. All that worry didn't change anything except my blood pressure and my ability to sleep at night. Let me tell you something that might sound harsh. The universe doesn't care about your worry. The things that are going to happen whether you lose sleep over them or not. So you might as well get some rest. Now, I'm not saying you should be careless. I'm not saying you should ignore real problems or stick your head in the sand. What I'm saying is there's a different way to live, a way where you prepare for the future without being consumed by it, a way where you acknowledge problems without drowning in them, a way where you can be responsible and still have peace. It starts with acceptance, accepting that you can't control everything, accepting that bad things might happen, accepting that you're going to make mistakes, accepting that life is uncertain and that's okay. Because here's the secret: uncertainty isn't the enemy, it's just part of being alive. The only people who have no uncertainty are the ones in the graveyard. As long as you're breathing, there's going to be unknown, there's going to be risk. And that's actually a good thing because it means you're alive. It means there's still possibility, still potential, still things to discover and experience and learn. I meet young people now who are so afraid of making the wrong choice that they don't make any choice at all. They're paralyzed by the possibility of failure. And I want to shake them and say, make the choice, make the mistake. It's okay. You'll survive it and you'll be smarter and stronger for it. The only real failure is letting fear and worry stop you from living your life. You know what I've learned to love today? Just today. Not yesterday because I can't change it. Not tomorrow because it doesn't exist yet. Just today. This morning I woke up. I made my coffee. I walked out on my porch. I watched the sun come up. And I didn't think about bills or problems or things that might go wrong. I just was. That's the gift you give yourself when you stop worrying so much. You get to actually live your life instead of constantly rehearsing for disasters that probably won't happen. You get to notice the little things, the good things, the beautiful things that are happening right now. The way your kid laughs, the way your partner looks at you, the taste of good food, the feeling of the sun on your face. These things are happening right now, today. And if you're too busy worrying about tomorrow, you're missing them. And one day, I promise you this, one day you're going to be my age and you're going to look back and you're going to wish you spent more time noticing, more time being present, more time loving the people around you instead of being trapped in your own head. Don't wait until you're 73 to figure this out. Start now, today. So here's my letter to my younger self. And to you, if you need to hear it, stop worrying so much. The things you're afraid of, most of them won't happen. And the ones that do, you'll handle them. You're stronger than you know. That anxiety you're carrying around, it's not protecting you, it's just making you tired. Those worst case scenarios you keep running through your mind. They're not preparing you. They're just stealing your peace. Let them go. Not because everything will be perfect, not because nothing bad will ever happen, but because you deserve to live your life without carrying the weight of every possible future disaster on your shoulders. You deserve peace. Right now, today, not when everything's perfect, not when all your problems are solved, not when you finally have enough money or success or security. Right now, as you are, where you are, life is happening right now, and it's too short to spend it in your head, worrying about things that haven't happened yet and might never happen. So take a breath, look around, notice what's good, notice what's beautiful, notice who's here with you, and let the rest go. That's all I've got for you today. I'm going to finish my coffee now. Enjoy the sunrise, and I hope you'll do the same, whatever that looks like for you. Take care of yourself, and remember, you're going to be okay. You really are. I'll see you in the next one.